Okay, thanks for your attention there. So I think we have gotten to that. I just want to make some corrections and comments on the work so far. Let me see whether I can even see the drawing itself. There's something there was an error on my part, and that error will help me to teach something. Let me just, that error, the issue there are profile plane and offset plane. I used the careful trick of offset plane to correct myself in the video. So it is good, it's a good point to really understand how profile planes and offset planes work. So let us just create something. Let's just create a sketch here. Let's create a sketch. Let's say we create a sketch on the XZ plane. And in this case, I want to do a center rectangle. So in this center rectangle, I can finish the sketch and create an extrusion. Suppose I create an extrusion. I'm creating an extrusion that is symmetric. And let my symmetric extrusion be for a distance of 25 millimeters on both sides. Okay, so we have this extrusion. Now, let me show you the mistake I made in that last video. And then I will show you how I corrected it. And then it will give you a hint on how to use profile plane and offset plane. What I wanted to do was to imagine I wanted to create another extrusion, another drawing. And I want to do the drawing on this plane. Okay, so I can create a sketch. I can create a sketch and I can create it on this plane. So I'm creating it on the surface of an existing drawing. So let us say that I want to put a circle here. I want to put a center rectangle here. And what else can I put there? And then maybe I want to put an ellipse. Maybe I want to put an ellipse here. Okay, so I have those three objects. Suppose I want to extrude all of them. If I want to extrude all of them, I can say, okay, extrude. I can finish sketch and say, after finishing my sketch, I can say extrude, create extrude. And I'm extruding this. Let me just say, let me extrude two of them. And in the extrusion, the first thing you choose is where are you starting from? Usually we have not been editing profile plane. We have just been starting from the profile plane. So let us start this from the profile plane and see what happens. Now, and then extrude for some distance. Okay. So you can see all these two things were extruded from the profile plane, which is the surface of this place. Now, let us take a look at that something now. I want to do another extrusion. The extrusion I want to do now is that I want to do the extrusion of this rectangle, but I'm not going to start from the profile plane. Suppose I say create extrude. Now, instead of profile plane, let me now choose an offset plane. I suppose for offset plane, I decide to use a plane that is maybe 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters away. No, not sorry, an offset plane offset plane, and let the offset plane be 10 millimeters. 10. Okay. So, and let me extrude for 20. Okay. So let us see what has happened. Let us take to see what has happened here. Let us take a look let us take a side view. You can see in the side view that the rectangle, it was not starting at the surface because I said it should start at an offset plane. That offset plane can be positive, can be negative. Let me correct, I can correct the drawing now and let the offset plane, instead of being positive, let it be negative. So I can just say, in order to achieve that, let me say X, let me try and edit that, let me edit that feature. If I edit the feature, or no, not this feature, I want to edit the last feature. edit feature. Now, if I make the offset 0, again, it's the same thing as starting from the profile plane. So you can see if we look at it again now from the side, it is now starting from the edge. If I make it negative, it will be starting from inside the body. Now, when one solid starts from inside another solid, that is usually an error, because you are doing things that are not realistic. You cannot have a solid entering another solid in real life. So when you're on your drawing, you are doing something that is violating the reality, then there's something wrong. And you can be penalized for that, especially if you are going to use that drawing for simulation. So what we are saying here is that your extrusion does not have to start from this. It doesn't have to start from a profile plane. It can start from an offset plane. It can even start from an object. But we would use examples to look at that later on. What happened in the case of the heat exchanger was that whereas I was trying to click the back plane, but I mistakenly clicked the coordinate plane in the middle. So when I did my extrusion, the extrusion was starting in the center and it was now coinciding with a lot of material. I didn't realize it when I was doing the video, but when I watched it over again, I saw that that was the mistake I made. But I was able to quickly correct myself by just changing the profile plane and moving the profile plane to an offset plane 25 millimeters away, because I knew beforehand that the thickness of that, body was 25. So moving it 25 away is as good as if I created the profile plane on that other surface and I started from there instead of the mistake that I made. So that is what happens. So you must understand the difference between the profile plane and an offset plane. The profile plane is the plane on which you actually created that sketch. Then the offset plane is a plane that is some distance away from it, which you can specify. I can see 3 comments on the board. So let me just see what they are, whether they are questions. Now, is there a way to edit an extrusion? Yes, there is a way to edit an extrusion. All you do to edit an extrusion, see what we have just done that now. We've edited these extrusions. Okay, let me edit because look at this. On the surface of this rectangular object, we have 3 extrusions: a circle, an ellipse, and a rectangle. Now, we can edit this. We can edit all of them. All we need to do is to go to one way to do it is to go to the, we can either go to the browser and find the body if we can. If we can't find the body in the browser, we can find the extrusion itself in the timeline. If we can find the extrusion in the timeline, then we can edit it. So any of the extrusions we did now, if you click them and say edit feature. Let me just try and move some part of my computer is interfering. So let's say you come here. Okay. Suppose you come here and say edit feature. You say edit feature because we created to do those 2 bodies at the same time, so they're essentially the same feature. So suppose we change the profile plane of we can change the profile plane to an offset plane and let the offset plane be a distance of 20. So you can see we have modified it. And instead of extruding only one side, we can extrude symmetrically. We can extrude to the 2 sides. We extrude to the 2 sides, even after choosing the offset plane, we can still extrude. We can extrude the way we want. So let's see. So you can see, despite the fact that we chose a new offset plane, we still can extrude both sides. So anything, because when you edit feature, the entire form that you filled can be given back to you. And instead of saying the operation should be joined, you can say let the operation be a new body. So you need to create new bodies as a result. So you can edit every feature. So extrusion is just one feature, sweep is another feature, revolve is another feature, and lofting is another feature. After you have made it, There are two ways you can edit them. You can edit the profile sketch. If you edit the profile sketch, everything would now follow accordingly. Okay, let me just do that now. So in this particular case, if I go to the sketch that created the profile, so I can say edit sketch. If I say edit sketch, suppose I make this circle smaller than before, so I can use the dimension to do that. It's now 26. Let me make it smaller and make it 10. If I say finish sketch, you can see that it has now edited the original thing. It is now much thinner than before. So you can edit an extrusion in every way. You can edit the basic sketch that created it. You can edit the parameters that you supply during the extrusion process. So you can edit everything about an extrusion or about any feature by going to the timeline and saying edit feature. So that answers that question. Let's see, is there any other question? Okay, you can hear me now. Sure, you can edit an extrusion, that's okay. Okay, so if there are no questions, let me now tell you what I want you to do. Please take the notes of today and make sure that you understand every material particular of today's class. Because what I want to do from next week is that I want to begin to move us into programmatic and parametric modeling using Fusion 360. We are going to begin to use parameters so that we can create new drawings from our old drawing by just changing some parameters, and you are going to get new things. And that can be done to some extent using the GUI, but it is far, far, far more powerful if you do it programmatically. But do not attempt to start programming in the graphics unless you already understand how to use the graphics library manually. So you will go back to study all the things we have done, make sure that all the ideas that we have discussed are clear to you, because when we now begin to invoke those ideas using Python, it is only those people who understand how those things work that can succeed. So we will try and create the simplest of the objects. The drawings don't have to be complex initially, but you will see that as you move along, you are going to be able to do very many things that will bog your mind, that when people see what you have done, they will just be amazed. So parametric modeling is actually the most powerful way to use, one of the most powerful ways to use these 3D solid modeling features. And it is very efficient when you are doing things like a simulation, where you need to create so many scenarios for your simulation. So if somebody wants to create 100 different scenarios by changing parameters, you don't want to do that manually. And that is what happens when you are designing and optimizing and creating things from scratch. You want to know what is the best, and you want to see so many different possibilities before you reach your conclusion. I think it's nearly 5:23 now. I believe that I've given enough for today. So just go through what we have done and get ready for next class. I will likely start going to the Python add-in so that we can use programs to call the graphics objects rather than using the GUI from next week. Thank you.